That round of applause, it always just makes me go, yay! Welcome to the Purple Positivity Podcast for March the 9th, 2018. I am your host, the amazingly adorable Rebecca Thistle, podcasting to you live-ish from my kitchen/dining room table in my apartment, which I call Jeffrey Thistlework. And it's actually been exactly 1 month since I moved in here. Hooray! So, I have a story. It's not much of a story, but it's a story. My coworker, one of my coworkers anyways, very graciously and generously and sweetly, and I can't say enough adverbs about this gesture. She got me a housewarming present of 2 wine glasses. And she handed it to me at work on Tuesday. And she said, "Here, I got you this as a housewarming present. I was trying to find purple, but I couldn't find any purple ones." And I said, "Oh, thank you so much." And I hugged her and I said, "Not everything has to be purple. Don't worry about it." And she goes, but it's you. And I'm like, yeah. Okay, everything does have to be purple, but it's not mandatory. It's not a rule that everybody in the world has to follow. And so we kind of laughed about it. And anyways, I get asked, not a lot, but enough, that this question, why purple? Because it's one thing to have a favorite color. It's another thing when, your favorite color becomes everything about you. That's what defines you. And there's a lot of answers to that question. I think the most complex and yet simple answer is that it feels like home. What do I mean by that? Okay, Rebecca Thistle fun fact. You ready? If you do not count my mandatory eviction from my mother's uterus back in 1986, I have moved 31 times in 31 years. So I don't really feel like I have a home in this world. The closest I have to home is my grandmother's old house, because that was, I think, the most constant thing was that my grandmother lived there for 20 some odd years, most if not all my childhood. And, we go visit grandma. That was grandma's house. And I think that was the only constant home that I had as a kid and even as an adult. But that wasn't my home. That was my grandmother's home. So, hopefully you know this feeling, when you are in a place that provides you with so much peace and so much comfort that initially the only thought that goes through your head is, I'm home. The closest I think I ever had to associating that feeling with a physical place is El Paso, Texas. I consider El Paso my hometown. I don't have a specific house that I consider my home in El Paso, but in the past, whenever I've flown into the airport or when I've driven with someone into town and I start seeing familiar sights and so on, I have that feeling of, I'm home, Well, that is the feeling that I get when purple. That's just it, you know. Whenever I'm wearing something purple, I feel this sense of just total and complete peace for however long, where I feel the world feels right, the planets feel aligned, whatever you want to say. So like back at the end of December, beginning of January, I was having a really hard time, and I hadn't been wearing purple for a while. I chopped off all the purple from my hair, and all my purple shirts were dirty, and so I hadn't had a lot of purple on, and I was really depressed. And then one day I went, you know what, I'm going to wear, I did some laundry, and I said, I'm going to wear this purple tunic, and I put the top on, and something happened in my mood just instantly. I went from feeling kind of hopeless and lost to, okay, let's do this. And it seems so weird, and it seems so shallow, and it seems so strange. But I mean, when you don't have a sense of belonging, oftentimes these little things like colors, like images, they give you a sense of belonging. They give you a sense of self. They give you a sense of identity. So that is ultimately why purple. The other thing I wanted to mention is because I've never really had a permanent home, you know, like I guess that's like my life goal, is to find a place where I just feel perfect and I can just settle, you know. And I mean, not necessarily never go anywhere ever again, you know. I want to have my adventures, but I'd love to have a physical manifestation of home outside of the color purple. And I decided about 6 months ago that I would call this whatever this home ends up being, whether it's a house or a trailer or a yurt for that matter, whatever it happens to be that I know is going to be home, I'm going to call it Thistlerock. Which, you know, if you've been listening to my show, first of all, you know. I like puns. I'm such a dork when it comes to puns. But I decided that I'm gonna find Thistlerock. I don't know where it is. I don't know when I will find it. But I know that I will find it. And I will stick a flag in it. So, yeah, you know, because that's how you make things your own, apparently, is you just stick a flag in. As I claim this in the name of Thistlerock. And, but that's when I find home, it's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be Thistlerock. And that's really all I have to say about that. I hope that you know what home is. So everybody should have a home, even if it is just a color or a flower or a weed in some cases. Find your own Thistlerock. create your own Thistlerock. It's out there. You just have to look for it. Believe it's there and look for it. Anyways, if you'd like to follow me on social media, the username to look for is PurpleBecca923. I have that username on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Snapchat. That is also my email address, purplebecca923@gmail.com. purplebubblespace.simdiff.com is still the website. Once I post this show and I get my head back in the game, I am going to start working on a new website because I bought the domain. I just gotta associate it with something not crappy. So this is gonna be fun because I am not a techie person. So you have to make things as simple as possible for me. Like, I can kind of figure it out, but as long as it's relatively simple. I don't know. Maybe someday somebody will sit down and explain everything in the universe to me, and I'll just be like, oh, okay. And it'll make me feel better. Like, I'll be like Janet on The Good Place. Random thought. I really love The Good Place, by the way. The show The Good Place. It is really good. I want to be like Janet. And know everything. But anyways. That's it. So remember, go out there, create what you deserve, believe that you deserve it, and then create it. And then you can fly with the penguins. Toodaloo.